Royal hierarchies. Why Princess Charlotte's children won't have titles, but Prince George's will. To understand this distinction, we have to look back at the role of succession in the monarchy. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, children of Prince William and Princess Kate, are all members of the royal family and hold titles of prince and princess. But their paths will diverge because of the line of succession. As the firstborn, Prince George is directly in line to become king after his father, Prince William, and thus, his future children will have royal titles. Princess Charlotte, however, does not have the same future destiny. In traditional royal terms, the term heir refers to the person destined to inherit the throne. Prince George is currently the direct heir after his father. His siblings, however, are considered spares, a historical term that reflects their position as backups to the direct line, in case something unforeseen happens. While all of them hold the same prince or princess titles now, only George's descendants are guaranteed similar titles as they would be in the direct line to the throne. This difference in titles for future children reflects an old hierarchy built into the British royal family's rules. At the root of these title differences is a document called the Letters Patent, issued by King George V in 1917. This document was issued to restrict the number of royal titles within the family, clarifying who would be considered royal and hold titles such as prince or princess. King George V wanted to streamline the monarchy, making it clear that only the direct descendants of the monarch and their heirs should hold these prestigious titles. According to this rule, only the monarch's children, grandchildren in the male line, and the eldest son of the Prince of Wales would have the right to be called a prince or princess. This approach kept the royal family smaller and more focused on the core line of succession, though Queen Elizabeth made a notable exception for Prince George's siblings, ensuring Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis would also have royal titles. The traditional rule still applies moving forward. Thus, Princess Charlotte's children, as grandchildren of a monarch in the female line, are not automatically entitled to a royal title. The British monarchy has traditionally favored male primogeniture, where sons took precedence over daughters. This meant that for hundreds of years, daughters would be lower in the line of succession than their younger brothers. However, a landmark change in 2013, known as the Succession to the Crown Act, modernized this approach. This act established absolute primogeniture, meaning that the firstborn child, regardless of gender, would be first in line for the throne. As a result, Princess Charlotte is now third in line after her older brother George, followed by her younger brother Louis. While this change allowed Charlotte to hold her position in line, it didn't alter the rules of who receives royal titles. So, although she is closer in line to the throne than her younger brother, her future children would still be seen as descendants in the female line under current rules and thus wouldn't automatically receive royal titles. An interesting comparison can be made with the children of Prince Harry, Prince George's uncle and younger brother to Prince William. Prince Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, were born as great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II and initially did not have royal titles. However, when King Charles III took the throne, Archie and Lilibet, as grandchildren of the reigning monarch in the male line, became eligible to use the titles of prince and princess. This situation highlights a key point about royal titles. They are often conferred based on a direct link to the reigning monarch in the male line. Since Prince George will someday become king, his children will naturally have titles. Princess Charlotte's children, on the other hand, won't have the same direct line, so they won't automatically have royal titles. This doesn't mean it's impossible for Princess Charlotte's children to have titles, it's just not automatic. The reigning monarch can choose to grant titles as a special favor. For example, Queen Elizabeth conferred the titles of Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh on Prince Edward and Sophie, and their children have courtesy titles. In Princess Charlotte's case, it's possible that her children could receive courtesy titles if her father, Prince William, or her brother, Prince George, were to grant them. Additionally, if Charlotte were to marry a nobleman with his own title, her children might inherit titles through that marriage. However, they would still not be called prince or princess under the traditional rules unless special circumstances were arranged by a future monarch. As the monarchy evolves, there's a growing sense that changes may come to the rules surrounding royal titles. King Charles III, for instance, has long supported a slimmed-down monarchy, where only a few key royals hold titles and engage in official duties. If this approach continues, it may mean that fewer royal titles will be passed on in future generations, further cementing the focus on the direct line of succession. However, this shift may work to the benefit of younger royals like Princess Charlotte's children, who would have more freedom to pursue private lives without the responsibilities that often accompany a royal title. In the world of royalty, titles represent more than just words. They are a legacy of history and tradition. For Princess Charlotte, her future children's lack of titles doesn't reflect any lack of importance. It's simply a matter of how royal hierarchy has functioned for centuries. Prince George's future children, as heirs to the throne, will naturally hold titles to prepare them for their role. Still, as the monarchy adapts to modern times, we may see these rules evolve. Royal titles may hold less influence over personal identities, and Princess Charlotte's descendants could find themselves with more freedom, while George's line remains bound by tradition. In the end, the British royal family remains a complex blend of old customs and new possibilities.